Hey cousin, who you chillin' with?
I'm chilling with MONIE.
Hey cousins, welcome back to the crib. Your favorite cousin MONIE here. Hope everyone is having a great day today. Please do me a favor and smash that like button on your way in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to become a part of the family. So let's talk about the internet, because one thing about the internet, it never forgets. The internet will remind you in 4K exactly of what you said and when you said it, exactly how you said it. Especially when you try to rewrite history and pretend like you didn't participate in messy narratives. On the latest episode of what I like to call the Three Idiots podcast, the spotlight has shifted to Damaris. It is her turn to be exposed as the hater many already suspected she was, alongside Mal and Rory. And now, let's be honest, Mal has spent the last year or two being the most devoted Drake defender we've ever seen. I mean, nobody outside of academics and the Jewish streamer takes nuts to the throat better than Mal. I mean, he deserves a medal at this point. But then there's Rory, who was recently outed as a closeted hater, who loves to act impartial, who loves to fence sit. However, that mask has slipped within the last 2 weeks. Remember his Radio Rico narrative that he was pushing? The same one he tried to push before the lawsuit got tossed out, and then he came on the podcast saying he never actually read the document for the Drake versus UMG case? Yeah, that Rory. But now it's Damaris's moment. Following the Grammy nominations, where Kendrick Lamar led as the most nominated artist for yet another year, Damaris, the third string co-host kept around more for optics than insight, decided to let her bitterness show. On air, she claimed she'd be very upset or pissed if Kendrick swept the awards, then doubled down on Twitter before quietly deleting the tweet.
Nominees for Best Rap Album at the 2026 Grammys are Let God Sort 'Em Out by The Clipse, Glorious by Glorilla, God Does Like Ugly by JID, GNX by Kendrick Lamar, Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator. GNX is going to sweep, and it's going to piss me off because The Clipse deserves to win.
And while we're here, let's not forget Mal's contribution to the clownery. When asked who he'd remove from the Grammy nominations, he said he'd take GNX off the list and replace it with Alfredo 2 by Freddie Gibbs.
Absolutely.
Okay, but what do we take out?
GNX.
You can't take out one of the highest selling albums.
All right, so fuck it.
Yes, you heard that right. He wants to remove the most critically acclaimed album of the year for a rapper, the one with 2 number ones, one of which stayed at number 1 for 13 weeks straight, and the best-selling rap album of 2025 despite being released in 2024. Additionally, there needs to be an understanding that no one's mad about having different favorites. I promise, nobody wants y'all to like or love Kendrick's music. Music is very subjective. Not everyone is going to connect with the same things. We all have different palettes. Some of us like good music that speaks to the soul, and some of y'all prefer music to just pop ass and smoke hookah to. Or maybe there's a mixture of both. That's fine. That's reasonable. But it becomes annoying when people pretend to be impartial instead of saying how they really feel. You don't keep it real because you want to soften the blow of your lies. That's why people start things off with, I'm a Kendrick fan, or I'm a Drake fan, and then follows up with a bunch of bullshit. Your lies that you are spewing, you don't even believe deep down inside. When it comes to Kendrick, the hate is never rooted in logic. His detractors can't explain why he shouldn't win something. They just don't like that he does. The critiques always boil down to jealousy and resentment towards a man who stays quiet, drops music, tours, and then goes home to his family. That type of peace apparently infuriates people who can't monetize off of him. And back to Damaris. And shout out to the cousin Neek for walking Damaris down effortlessly. And Neek called out her disguised disdain, reminding the timeline that Damaris once said she hates Kendrick Lamar's voice and she will never listen to his music ever again. And instead of bowing out gracefully, Damaris challenged Neek to prove this is what she said. And seconds later, the internet is gonna internet. They dug up the footage of her saying it verbatim in HD in 4K.
Kendrick Lamar fans, I've said on every platform possible, I hate the way Kendrick Lamar raps. I hate the sound of his fucking voice.
Same. I hate his voice.
I hate his voice. And I will not listen to him again simply because I hate the sound of his voice. It does not take away from the talent.
I mean, you can't make this shit up. Time and time again, these so-called media voices gaslight Kendrick fans for calling out bad faith criticism. But when you peel back the layers, it's never just critiquing the art. It's entitlement, it's frustration that Kendrick doesn't give interviews. He doesn't chase clout, and he refuses to hand them content. When they can't profit off of him, they punish him with slander. Then they play victim when called out on it. Even people close to Kendrick have noticed the pattern. It appears Punch from TDE and producer Terrace Martin have both made it obvious that they see the online discourse regarding the Grammys. Like, it is strange to see this kind of venom directed at someone who's done nothing but put out quality music, especially from people who claim the Grammys don't matter. Why does anybody want to win a Grammy anymore? That's a white people's award. That's the things people are saying, but now all of a sudden everybody cares and everyone is gonna be so upset and pissed off if a certain someone wins. Like, which one is it? Y'all care or y'all don't care? And back to Damaris, because after catching heat, she tried to clean it up by showing off her most recent Apple Music playlist. Conveniently, it's filled with Clipse songs, as if that proved anything. Because girl, anybody can hop on Apple Music, click a few tracks, and suddenly they show up as my recently played. Like, that's not proof that you being performative, going to great lengths to try to prove a point when we've already just caught you in the lie. What does your monthly history look like if that's the game you want to play? Because curating fake playlists to save face is a level of unseriousness that only reinforces the point. It's all optics for y'all. Nothing is authentic. And while we're clearing things up, let's kill another tired narrative. The idea that Kendrick fans hate the Clipse is nonsense. I mean, unless you're party rock, then that's another story. Many of us grew up on the Clipse. Like, I remember lunch tables doing the grinding beat, cheer routines implementing the grinding beat. And let's be real as well, it was Kendrick fans on the front line promoting and purchasing Let God Sort 'Em Out when y'all were online dragging them for calling out Def Jam, Justin Bieber and Travis Scott trying to step on their rollout. When the internet was mocking their first week numbers for them landing in the top 5 spot instead of number 1. When their tour numbers leaked and it was saying like, oh, no one's showing up. It was Kendrick fans disproving all of the bullshit narratives. So let's be real. Why would we hate a group we respect? Yes, I've got online and said it looks like they're begging for Grammys, because it does look like they're begging for Grammys instead of just letting their music and their performances speak for themselves. I don't see anyone else finding cameras and pointing directly into the cameras and saying, Grammy committee, please, we want this award bad, really bad. I've never seen that before, especially not from a hip hop artist. I mean, there's a first time for everything, but that does not mean I don't respect and love the Clipse. They put out a phenomenal body of work that is more than deserving of a Grammy. It's just unfortunate they're going up against GNX. Recently, I saw someone say Kendrick was not needed on Let God Sort 'Em Out. This is one of the BS narratives Kendrick fans point out that people push unnecessarily. How is Kendrick not needed on Let God Sort Him Out when that's the most streamed song on Let God Sort Him Out? It's also the third all-time most streamed song in the Clipse Spotify history. Y'all have to stop doing this. And this is why we continue to point out the BS. The fake love be so evident and it can be spotted a mile away. The selective support that only appears when people want to use Clipse as a pawn to tear down Kendrick. You don't like the Clipse. You just like whoever's convenient to weaponize against Kendrick. That's the fraud in you. This entire new media landscape is obsessed with narratives over truth. They don't care about credibility or consistency. If Damaris had any sense, she'd realize that her contradiction-filled commentary only makes the whole show look unserious, as if we already didn't feel that way before. But this just puts a stamp on it. You would think people who claim to cover the culture would at least remember what they've said on record. And here she is saying, oh, I didn't remember I said that. That's embarrassing. What you said was so ridiculous. Even you forgot. If you were being real, you wouldn't have to remember what you said. Only people who need to remember what they said are liars. This is who the culture gives microphones to. This is who people tune into religiously. People so deep in projection, they can't even track their own hypocrisy. Meanwhile, real commentary platforms, the ones rooted in facts, integrity, and love for the game, get called biased or emotional. But at least I'm willing to die on the hill that yes, I am biased. I'll never pretend to like Drake. I'll never pretend to like Future, Lil Baby, Young Thug, Ice Spice, whoever, just to appear to be balanced. I'm not doing it. It's soulless, it's surface level, and built for bottle service type music. That's just not my jush. And that's fine, but I'm honest about it. That's what credibility looks like. I will never, ever shoot someone down just to push a narrative. But when it comes to the music, I can say what's good and what's not. So when you see people like Damaris spin the block pretending to be neutral while secretly foaming at the mouth over Kendrick's success, remember this moment. The gaslighting, the contradictions, the performative objectivity, all of it collapsed the minute a receipt was dropped. At the end of the day, this is what happens when podcast trades journalism for propaganda. When the priority is clicks instead of clarity. When hate becomes the headline. And now the exposure is happening in real time, in 4K. And the internet is simply pressing play and reminding you of the dumb shit you did and you've said. Truth is, they didn't think we would be here. They thought this was another control formula and that someone was supposed to be scared of J. Cole. Said he wasn't outside. Soon as he came outside, they're begging him to go back inside and stop winning. Ain't that funny?
Hey cousin, who you chilling with?
I'm chilling with MONIE.